Singapore has the worst taxi drivers in the world. That is according to Chris Reed, a British expat who has been living in Singapore for the past 3 years. The 42-year-old Regional Partnership Director's recent blog entry on taxi service in Singapore for the Singapore Business Review had more than 100 comments and went viral on social networking sites.
You get in a black cab in London, you can guarantee that someone's going to know the way because they've taken the knowledge, which means they have to know 25,000 streets, 20,000 landmarks. It takes 2 years to do, but you can rely on the fact they're going to get you from A to B. It's not always the case here, and that prompted the writing of the blog itself.
Chris says that our taxi service is the only thing in Singapore which he gives the thumbs down to. While he was quick to point out that he has had many good experiences with Cabbies, 25% of his taxi experiences in Singapore were less than ideal. Chris takes between 2 and 6 taxi rides a day, and his biggest gripe is that taxi drivers here do not know their way around Singapore.
The fact that a lot of people here, when you get into a taxi, say they're new and they don't know the way. And my response to that is, well, if you're new, I can kind of understand you being a bit nervous, but not knowing the way, I don't understand that because I know you've lived here for 30, 40, 50 years. So you're going to know the basics of where roads are. If it was a very difficult location, I could kind of understand. But if it's something as simple as Paya Lebar, or Fort Canning Park. I had one taxi driver where it said it didn't know where Fort Canning Park is.
So are Chris's complaints valid?
这个我同意，因为我们俩就是驾了几十年了，都不敢说他100%了。
如果是新的 driver 可能啊，旧的 driver 不可能啊，新包怎么不可能？而且没有的话，我们也是有 GPS 吗？
你刚刚来做，你什么东西不懂，你还是慢慢学嘛。但是外国人不一样，他们的国家是你要学到每一条路熟了才驾的。新加坡不一样，新加坡你是拿 VR 了才学。
How often do taxi drivers have no idea where your destination is?
Very seldom. Yes, it does happen before, but not too frequent.
Not often actually, because I usually will tell them like where I'll go, where I want to go, what route. So it's I know which is the fastest route basically.
I always have bad luck with cab drivers. I have to tell them like where to go. So they normally take a very big turn and
Another issue raised by Chris is that when it rains, taxis are nowhere in sight.
It wasn't that you couldn't get a cab, it's the fact they completely disappeared. So where you would normally reliably be able to get a cab, suddenly you couldn't get a cab because they were all, waiting around the corner to get the text message to say get a cab, because that obviously goes through the roof when a cab, when the rain comes, which I can understand. It's an extra couple of dollars. They do that 10 times a day. It's going to make their week.
Is it true that some of the taxis they just wait for calls when it's raining?
I think no lah. The time is very important how waiting.
你要看什么公司啊？像Comfort 跟Syndicate，他们的 call 会比较多。我们其他的一些公司真的等 call 会饿死了。
是很普遍的吗？每个人都要做 taxi 吗？你下雨你是要做 taxi 吗？是一样的想法吗？所以你一到来，全部的 taxi 给人要做完了。但有些下雨天他们不要驾啊，危险嘛。好像我这样下雨天。很大雨我就不要驾了啊！喝咖啡还好，或者放在一个卡棒在那边休息咯。好过我在外面冰，我几千块就撂了。
Do you find it difficult getting cabs when it's raining?
Yeah, more difficult than usual, I guess. Sometimes you have to call cab. Everyone's also calling cab, so it takes quite a while.
So it seems the scarcity of taxis in bad weather is a simple matter of economics. Demand goes through the roof and so do call bookings. Watch our next clip as we tackle issues pertaining to cabbies refusing cashless payments and the scarcity of cabs when taxi drivers are changing shifts.